Every night, thousands of player and team props hit the books. Edgeboard runs every single one through advanced simulations built on years of historical data and services the few with the real statistical edge. Tap any prop to unlock the deep matchup data behind it. We cover every major sports league with more being added all the time. Want a parlay? Choose your book, your legs, your leagues, and how aggressive you want it. Edgeboard auto builds the strongest ticket for you. Try it free for 7 days. After that, just $9.99 a month. Edgeboard, find your edge.
Good morning, folks. Little late morning here, going over some of yesterday's slate. Looks like we did have a lot of success on favorable matchups for the Chicago White Sox game versus Cleveland. That looks like a little bit of a typo there, but to be honest, I want to we're real tight on time here today, so I'm going to move off of that. Let's talk about Code Edge. If you have not signed up yet, I'm on my third day in a row of winning props. And in baseball, I can tell you that that is an outlier for a lot of folks out there that are being honest with their results. Baseball, I think, is a tough thing to bet. So I do have a theme to talk to you about with yesterday. Use code EDGE and get that 25% off. So sorry there, had a little button misclick. Want to get into today's props pretty quickly. Again, code EDGE, 25% off. Let's talk about yesterday and a theme for today. So first thing is to give you a little premise, I'm only going to discuss the morning games today. I think that Wednesday and Thursday I have kind of come to a pattern, and basically the pattern is play your early games and then reevaluate for the late games. And you know what I really want to focus on today is tightening up a little bit, because when I look at yesterday, I could have had a huge day. And what I was going to promote to you folks was my top 5 plays of the day, which you're going to see coming out very soon. And when I looked at my overall plays, I talked to my development team. We were working on our top 5 plays. They were 5 for 5. So what were the top 5 plays? Well, if you recall, we were looking over the props, and at first I had Detroit and Cleveland as a pass, but our software pointed out that there were a lot of favorable matchups with the Detroit lineup versus the Cleveland pitcher Bybee. So the Detroit money line was one. We went with our one WNBA play. I told you I wanted to do more research on it because I was confused what was going on with Parker. And it came out that I found out that they had rested the whole team the other day. That's why it was saying lineup change. They rested like 3 of their stars, including our star. But they were back to their normal lineup, and I'm trying to scroll through this to look at it. But I went on her points prop as my boosted prop, and Jackie Young, I'm sorry, not Parker, Jackie Young, we went with 17.5 over on points. This was, again, our streak watch. I honestly think I'm maybe 5 for 5 on streak watch now. So this tool, I've told you, I'm so excited about it, and how we look at how lines are moving with players and how are the players performing against moving lines, which are super important in NBA and WNBA. So 17.5 points. I had that boosted. She went for 25 points. She had 10 points in the first quarter. So that was my second pick of the day. My third was, I had pointed out Pete Crow Armstrong in what I felt like there was 2 good run environments yesterday, and that was Washington and Cubs at Washington, and of course Tampa Bay at the A's, which we'll be talking about that again briefly. So I was all in on Tampa Bay. I was all in on Pete Crow Armstrong. He was my highlight home run of the day. I had Pete Crow Armstrong bases, HRR, and home run. I mentioned that there was a boost to be used yesterday, and he was one of my profit boost. So I hit his home run with a profit boost. Sean Burke strikeout ladder, 6.5, 7.5. That one got a little sketchy because I was a little nervous they were going to pull him in the 5th after 5 versus 6, because again, with weather, they did have him, or maybe it was the 6th into the 7th. But he went into an inning that I was not sure he was coming back out, and he got 2 strikeouts. So that prop was real sketchy there of possibly being hooked at 6. But he does go out for one more inning, and he gets 2 strikeouts. So that was huge. The other 25% boosted home run was Junior Caminero. I went big on Caminero again. I mean, 2 RBIs he hit for the 2nd day in a row. I went with a RBI ladder for Caminero. So did a lot of things as I predicted. What was the other play that I was going to focus on? Because there was one more. But then what happened was I did have some misses. By the way, I think I mentioned on the video the KC run line I really liked. You were getting plus money with Kansas City to get a run with the Dodger team that's kind of struggling, and a pitcher just coming out that we didn't know what we would get. It ended up 5-4, so plus money hit on that. So I look at this and I'm really frustrated because if I just go with my top plays that I suggest to you folks, by the way, I had another play that I pointed out to my partner, and it's a play I'm going to make again today, but I don't love it. Yesterday, I think I would have advised this, but Christopher Sanchez outs. They had his over-under on outs in St. Louis at 18. And I said, even if he dominates, it's so hot in St. Louis, I don't think they have him come out for a 7th inning. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, he had St. Louis at either 0 or 1 run. St. Louis ends up winning 2-0, which is funny because I think I did mention that there was some money going on the Phillies at like minus 160. I was like, I don't know. Our starter's been pretty damn good. Palante. I go, I think this is a low scoring game. So anyway, I nailed that. But my only play for that game, literally I made one play, was that they're not going to put Sanchez out in the 7th inning. And he was only at 80. I was like, man, I thought I was going to lose that. He was in the 80s on pitch count, but it was so hot. So how did I not win more money? Well, there were some hot players I advised that we look at who did not go hot. Jake Bauers went over. Gabriel Moreno, who I was just all in on, went over, which was surprising. Arizona kind of was a dud last night. They lost 3-2. So I went pretty heavy on him. Jonathan Aranda killed me. I had a lot of parlay props because they are kind of nuking some of these Tampa Bay props. And again, I think the theme today is tightening up a little bit. Let's look at this and for example, Liam Hicks did not show as a good matchup, but I just felt like where he was at in the batting order because of traffic, and he doesn't get on base. I think he went over. So I had a 3-leg parlay with Chandler Simpson and him. I had 2 different Chandler Simpson props. He crushes it, but Hicks dogs me out. I had another parlay where I missed 1 leg because of Aranda. I put Aranda to hit the home run this time. This was not a play I advised. I didn't advise that one, but I just put some money that was probably a little looser than I needed to be on that. A game I want to talk about, I did go on Machado on some unders, and he ended up getting 3 hits yesterday. So Machado breaking out, which we need to talk about, Milwaukee at San Diego, because we're going to focus on just early games. And then my last one, I did use one of my home run boost on Josh Bell. Josh Bell has kind of heated up. I mean, I can't figure out Baltimore, Minnesota. I'll be honest, I think that's a hard pass on that. And there was a couple other guys that I didn't advise to you folks. I put some money on Bichette. I put money on Bichette and Michael Busch. They both sucked. Those were not plays I would ever recommend to you. I did mention Stephen Kwan hot. He did come through. So I'm just kind of going through this. I had 2 different bets on Kwan, HR and singles. He got up literally right off the bat. First pitch, he goes and gets a single. I literally started my day with the very first pitch of all the MLB slate and hit that instantly. And then I think my only play that I still kind of like, but didn't come through and got hooked, was I did put a big chunk of money on Dylan Cease over 7.5 strikeouts as another play. I used my boost on it to get even money. And Boston is remaining cold. They lost to Toronto 5-3. They pulled Dylan Cease, I felt like, an inning early. So that one was frustrating. They pulled him. To me, the game was tied. It was an odd pull, in my opinion. I was pretty frustrated with that. I think he would have hit that. So at the end of the day, I really made very little money. I made like a quarter unit after it was all said and done. To me, like, it's a kind of a break. Put it this way, if it was minus the same amount, I'd tell you it was a break even day. So it's not even fair for me. Like, yeah, I won money, but man, did I not win much. My return on investment was basically 1%. And when I look at it, what do I say? It's like what I would have advised you guys to play, which was funny. My top 5 plays, we reached it out. We're working on a graphic we're going to give you. And the ones when I looked at my full betting line, I said, okay, here are my top 5 favorites. We're 5 for 5. So that's my goal, is to probably tighten up on my end too. Really tightening up in betting is, I can't emphasize that enough, as a smart play. So I wanted to spend a little extra time about reviewing, because I think that's important. If you want to be a successful bettor, you can't just constantly chase. You need to review and adjust. And I think looking at yesterday, I knew the plays. I picked the plays, but then I went too excessive on the plays. I had too much out there. So that's kind of my theme for today. So there's 6 early games. We have 6 early games, and hopefully this is going to update. I don't know really what's going on here. All right. We have 6 early games, and I do have some themes. By the way, this is not what I want you to bet, but I did just make a bet. I've literally made one major league bet this morning. I don't like it, to be honest. So again, pisses me off when I tell you guys to tighten up. But if the Zach Wheeler is pitching in St. Louis, Zach Wheeler has actually had a few rough outings of late. St. Louis tends to hit righties. So Sanchez was a lefty, and I knew St. Louis wasn't going to hit him well. I do think we tend to hit righties better. Even with Nootbaar out of the lineup, who was part of that whole how you played it. But it is one, this is kind of your local play. You're getting plus money on Zach Wheeler under 17.5 outs. If it was 18.5 at minus money, I would make this a play of the day. Because it is the heat, I'm here in Missouri. The heat here in Missouri is actually dangerous today. And we're playing in St. Louis at 1:00. I mean, it's going to be F-bomb brutal at this game. So again, Zach Wheeler could be pitching lights out, but it's not, I have a rule of thumb. I don't bet unders when it's like the last out. So in other words, if it was 18.5, I would be on this, honestly, with crazy amount of money. I went ahead and still bet a nudge on it, a quarter unit, because it's plus money. But Vegas is smart, and there's a huge difference between 17.5 and 18.5. But what is the, he hasn't done it in 3 games. And what's the deal breaker here is that, even though Vegas knows everything, and I'm sure they're aware, like they aren't stepping outside in Missouri. And there is a difference. When you talk about like Vegas, they're like, oh, it's a dry heat. Yeah. In Missouri, it's not, it's never a dry heat. It's a fucking horrible, wet, nasty, deflating, energy reducing heat. That's what I want to tell you. When you get this time of year, it's the worst. So that is why I'm just pointing that one out. Now I'm going to talk you into making it in the play. But again, I hate that Vegas was smart enough to make that 17.5 and not 18.5. They're not even offering 18.5. They're only offering plus money on 17.5. these crooks. That's what they are, crooks. If you're out there and you're on a platform and you find 18.5, that is an official play of the day. All right, so what are some plays here? First of all, like, look, this is the third day in a row. I've gone on this money train twice. They made me a ton of money twice. I did not make as much money on them yesterday because I parlayed too many things. Tampa Bay, I mean, this is just getting ridiculous. Jack Perkins versus Drew Rasmussen. I mean, I hope Tyler Soderstrom plays today. He sat out yesterday. I mean, this is just utter dominance on all aspects, right? So they beat them 12-4, 10-6. The line of this game, I'd love to see what we think about the over under this game. I mean, we are favoring the over at 9.5 at plus money. Let's just start right off the bat. What is my play of the day? Like, Tampa Bay run line -1.5 positive. See, by the way, again, I'm doing this live. I'm not sitting here pre-predicting plays to tell you things. I don't have time. I have a real job. I want to do more content for you folks, but I have a very demanding job that pays the bills. This is a hobby. It's a hobby I love. I think this site is amazing. I'm literally looking at this live the first time with you guys, and it's literally the first minus run line we suggest at plus money. I'm a little frustrated to see it at -126. Last night, to give you full disclosure, last night, I never do this. And I didn't bet it because I was too gun shy. I actually went to the sites and I looked at alt lines and I looked at a -2.5 line. And the -2.5 line, I was hoping was going to be like +150 because who bets -2.5? I wanted to bet -2.5 last night. And damn it, I didn't. So that's how, I mean, like, I can't say enough. Now, variance is variance. Like, it's a day game. First of all, it's a day game. There could be some resting of players. You could see someone not in the lineup. At this point, I think the lineups are already kind of juiced. Like, in other words, they're nuked. Vegas is already kind of putting their claws in on it. So I don't see any harm in maybe waiting to see if this comes out. I don't know if the line's still going to move or not, but right off the bat, Tampa Bay at -1.5. And I do side with the over on this one because Tampa Bay might just score 10 runs themselves. I mean, they've done it 2 games in a row. So is Oakland going to score against Drew Rasmussen? I'm not so sure, but that is numero uno of my plays. I'm not going to bet it. I don't have time. I want to just get this out to you. I want to get this content to you, but I'm sure as heck going to write it down. Tampa Bay run line, and I do like the over. I mean, you want to talk about explosive. It's already a AAA ballpark during the day. Holy crap. It's so compared to other games that they've played there where it's crazy hot to start the game. This one, it just keeps getting hotter while they're playing. I looked at the temperature, like it starts at 85 and ends in the 90s. So the 10.5 or the 9.5 and the run line, absolutely love that. Now let's just go back to what our money line plays are as a whole. I want to just kind of, I will tell you that I didn't advise this yesterday. It was -160. I'm not advising it today. I don't think Philadelphia is playing that good. I don't like it. I'm not going to do night games, but I can tell you I don't like that. I want to continue to just look at the games that are on my slate. I do think Arizona could take it to Ryan Feltner, but I'm not going to bet -172 on that. And I don't think I'm going to bet the run line because I don't trust Arizona's offense to be consistent enough. Just kind of going through these other ones. This one I'm not so sure on. There's one other game I wanted to point out, and I'm really curious about it. This is it. Okay. Here's our other one that has me. This is our last day game. This one's kind of funny. Robbie Ray. It's Ray versus May in the day. San Diego at home, day game. We're giving them a 52% chance to win at plus money. I like that. I like if I look, I know Dustin May, right? Because he was a Cardinal. I've watched him very closely. He had great games and he had shit games. I mean, this is a variance play. Let's be clear. We could review this game tomorrow and I could tell you that Dustin May came out and was lights out. I've also seen him suck. And then San Diego, what has gotten into San Diego? Like, I'm not betting on any unders on San Diego right now. This Merrill is one of the hottest batters going. And then Tatis crushes one yesterday. I mean, he's crushing the ball. And then the whole team, like the offense, like San Diego has woken up. And I honestly kind of like Robbie Ray. I wonder what we compare on starters on this one. So we do think Dustin May is a better starter than Robbie Ray by quite a bit. I'm going to look at this one more. I get what we're seeing here, 36 offense versus 64. But what I can tell you is like, and maybe this is something I'm going to talk to my devs about. And I joked about it as like in Bible terms of like BC and, post. Jesus, like there is definitely something to this pre All-Star break and post All-Star break. And if we look at post All-Star break, this is not accurate. Like it's almost flipped. So San Diego money line, how it projects today. I like the fact that our system is catching this, even though it's not catching what's below it. I do like this plus money line, maybe not for a huge play, but anytime you're getting a plus line money line there is good with me. I don't want to touch. I mean, fuck Baltimore and Minnesota at this point. I'm 0 for 2 in the last 2 days of predicting various bets tied to these people. So that's that. Let's look at these run lines real quick. Do I have any interest? Not really. Other than Tampa Bay, right? Looking at early games only. Love it. Not real interested in that game. This one, like, who knows? Kind of like this one, to be honest. Like, I think if you give us a run, maybe. I don't know. We could also get blown out that game. So that's kind of my take on all this. Just kind of running through these day games. Totals again. This is going to be our first night game of the series that we talk about. I'm going to revisit this. Foster Griffin's interesting. Cleveland made some of the worst pickups going on. They picked up Foster Griffin that I actually liked, but he's been rocked the last 3 games. And I told you about my take on Adele they picked up. So Cleveland is like reeling on some of their picks. Even though I think, what did I say about yesterday? I took Detroit money line yesterday. I think I like Detroit again, but this is an odd one. Like, which Foster Griffin are we going to get? Back to day games. I mean, I don't know what to say on this. I don't necessarily. It's just weird. I think it's a void. I think this could come into play, but the odd one with this is Merrill Kelly has decided to know how to pitch. There was a time where I'd be like, let's just go all in on Merrill Kelly, where I'd say much more, let's look at Ryan Feltner. I don't know what Merrill Kelly did, but good for him. Bad for us, because that would be one I'd love to target. Obviously, I pointed this game out. I don't know what to say on this game. This one I find interesting, so we're actually shading this to the under. I would call that even. So anyway, that's where. Oh, by the way, let's look down here at the bottom. I'm just curious. I saw. Oh shit! I passed it. Where was it? San Diego. Yeah, that's a break even one. I think that this is pretty break even. So we don't really know what to make of that game. The interesting one with that game is it is in Frisco in the day, and it's really funny how that works with the C. I've learned is you can look at San Francisco games during the day in a much different light than you can their night games. So let's go to our player props. I'm going to change this now to odds that we want to see. I don't bet big minus lines in baseball. I can't tell you how many times you do that, and it just ends up being the same binary results. Like they're either hot or they're not. So, I mean, right off the bat, Yandy Diaz has hit home runs 2 games in a row. Is this literally +7 favorable matchup? Holy piss, right? He's hot. How is this stat even correct? 1 home run in August. He's hit 2 leadoff home runs 2 days in a row. I could have swore this. What? Yeah. Look, Tampa Bay, let's just go down the line, right? So Yandy Diaz, figure out something that shows positive EV. That might be the play right there. Do you look at another HRR parlay with him? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I didn't even have elite matchups turned on, which is funny. Let's go back to that. Look who's at the top again. Look. All right, folks, this is crazy. Elite matchups, positive EV. I mean, did I say wait for lineups to be released? Like, do we really want to wait? Literally, we pop up elite matchups. There they are. And then add Chandler to this list. Simpson. I mean, this is utter dominance. Just the bottom line is find your props and pick them. And I don't care what props you pick. We're not going to waste a ton of time. I don't care if Perkins can somehow get a sweeper past our guy. I mean, just bet it. I'm just telling you, this is like nuclear. Tampa Bay is going to beat the shit out of Oakland again. Like, Oakland's kind of mailed it in. They announced yesterday Nick Kurtz is out for the season now too, by the way. That was in the news yesterday. So Aranda was the big letdown yesterday. Like, Aranda, again, when you put Aranda against righties, he loves righties. Like, from a whole matchup standpoint, I felt like this was such a great matchup for him yesterday. So I might be a little gun shy on Aranda today. Like, he is a little cold of late. Let's look at his 1.5. I'm going to look at his 1.5. So he is a little cold of late, right? He just goes 0 for last night. Yes, he goes 4, but only a hit. I mean, a little cold. So maybe we just want to kind of not overbet Aranda. I have had some folks point out that Zach Wheeler strikeouts, and I think that the line at 5.5 is the standard line. We do show that plus EV at -148. I'm not going to hate on that. That was pointed out by a couple different folks that I follow. They really like him over 5.5. I think that it's maybe a pass because of the weather, but I'm not going to hate you on that. I don't know if I love the 6.5. I mean, look at his last 3 lines. 6. So again, we suggested the alt line. He has not hit that the last 3 games, and he's barely cleared the 5.5 at a pretty big minus money. Now, St. Louis is a different team, and that's what the experts pointed out. I don't necessarily know if that concerns me. And then after we pass Zach Wheeler, look at this again. Chandler Simpson. I mean, 326 against righties, 318. Nothing scary about this pitcher. One of the hottest batters in baseball. Yeah. Like, the answer is simply yeah. Now, Liam Hicks is up here on this list. And again, what is going on, Liam? Like, I thought you were a great pickup at the trade deadline. In the last 2 games, everyone's dominating these pitchers. And he's 304, hits a 4-seamer pretty good. Like, why aren't you part of this party? Why is Liam Hicks not part of this party? I can't figure that one out. Yandy, Junior Caminero, Simpson. Okay. Yandy, Junior, Simpson are no-brainers. Even Caminero righty on righty. Like, the other guys are switch hitters and lefties. I mean, why is Oakland putting a righty out again? Like, for Oakland to put a righty out against this team right now is utterly crazy. What I'm trying to stress is like they have mailed it in. Now, the only one I wanted to look at, and I guess let's just see this. Like, I wonder if he's popping up because he sat out last game. How does Soderstrom line up against their pitcher? No active bets. So he sat out yesterday. I want you to keep an eye on that. I mean, their pitcher's much better. Again, they're throwing out Drew Rasmussen. So the guy's been pretty damn good. I would say keep an eye on Soderstrom. That's the only one, the lefty-righty matchup there. Again, the wind's going out to right central, I'm pretty sure. Let's just keep it at that. Like, is that literally our play? Is that our play of the day? There was a couple guys pointing out, and I think I avoid this game. Let's just look at this real quick. Oh, that's what it was. That's why he's not pointing out, because I had this. So they don't consider him elite. That's why no props pointed out. So Zebby Matthews, I mean, again, I hate the Baltimore offense, but his K rate is 7.6. So I don't know why we think this is. I mean, I got to be honest. This was a not Greg Ehrenberg. It's the other guy for Stochastic pointed this strikeout prop. I think I pass on that. I mean, I don't know what I'm missing. I'm a pass on this game. Hard pass. So first game of the day, Baltimore at Minnesota. My take on it is avoid like the plague. Philadelphia at St. Louis. We're just going to go game by game here because we're trying to point out what I like. Philadelphia at St. Louis, I think that you could look at your elite left-hand bats and how do they match up against these pitchers. Alec Burleson, I would never advise lefty on lefty. That was a good point to make yesterday. Not so good. How does he face against Zach Wheeler? 328 against righties, hits him pretty well, weighted average, but he is an elite pitcher. It's not a great park. He doesn't have great history. So, look, I'm going to tell you my own take. I think when Alec Burleson gets hot and I look at how he hits his pitches, don't be surprised if he clears this bet. But is it a smart bet? No. That would be a homer bet. Now, do we want to look at some of your elite lefty bats against our pitcher? Schwarber has decided he knows how to play again. I wouldn't have picked him yesterday. I think there was a lot of guys not doing well yesterday. I think I was accurate on that. How does he face these pitches? Not good. Avoid. All of his props are always like, Vegas knows people love to overbet this guy. Like, why you're getting plus 250 on a home run in St. Louis's ballpark. It is crazy hot. It's an avoid. Harper, what do we think about Harper today? The funny one was I hate their lineup and that Arias should be leading off, and Arias has gone like crazy cold. They like these guys to get some walks today, which is interesting. Even here, like, he doesn't, nothing's screaming off the chart. Marsh is getting hot again. Marsh might be the one because at least Marsh doesn't get his odds like pummeled. And I think he's deciding to figure out how to play baseball again. So 290, loves a four-seam fastball. Weighted average is pretty good. I mean, in this type of nuclear environment, I kind of lean towards a Marsh possible, but he's not hitting for power of late. It's interesting, batting 243 in August, but look at this 10 mile per hour wind, 101. Holy shit. What is going on with Marsh? I guess, everything tells me like his bat speed may be down a little bit. If I were to pick one guy, all right, so here's my thing. My leans are the data doesn't support it. We pass it. I've made one bet. I'm not going to bet the Wheeler K's because it's so hot. How long does he last in the heat? If I were to pick, because it's such a hot and wind out environment, like there could be home runs this game. There absolutely could be. And if I were to predict, it's going to come from a lefty and it's going to be either Marsh or Burleson to do some damage today, you always could have the Shore Bomb. But odds are nuked. It's another pass. Tampa Bay at A's. There's my play of the early games. Like literally, if you want to just do one thing, just bet your Tampa Bay players. Wait to see what's going on with Soderstrom. He must not be considered. What it is he wasn't considered elite. But look how hot he is. Look how hot he is. I know it's Drew Rasmussen, which is why we're going to give this mixed signals. I like, what a mismatch. What a mismatch. In 4 plate appearances, he's 0 for with 1K. So the issue there is like super hot player versus a good pitcher. Minus 115 HR. I think I go with that. And maybe I in this type of environment, like maybe for him for the home run. I think you're going to see, put it this way, I'm going to play this because I am going to play it. I don't want you, I'm telling you to tighten up and I'm not listening to myself. Let's also be clear. He's also struck out twice, 3 games in a row. And he's had a strikeout 1 game, like against a pitcher who can strike people out. Jesus, plus 228. So what are we going to get? Do we get Tyler Soderstrom strikes out twice after a day of rest? Or does he give you 5 game straights of RBIs, runs, 2 home runs in 5 games, 70% total bases, 80% HR? So which Soderstrom do we get today? Do we get both? Does he strike out twice and hit a home run to clear all these props? What a wild play that would be. There's your plays for that one. Now, the one I want to focus on, and I think what we do here is I'm going to leave this to you guys. Like, I think that I'm just going to tell you that we pass on Houston and Frisco. The only one I wanted to point out for Houston, which he's been kind of cold of late, is it is a day game. So the Yordan Alvarez factor does factor in. He has not been hitting home runs of late. He has not been hitting home runs of late. In 6 plate appearances, Adrian Hauser's been smart enough to just never pitch to him. So either he's chasing him and he strikes out or he walks. But look, I didn't even see this before I pulled it up. I think that you got to consider some of this, but here's the crazy part. It is, I know I brought this up. It's such a terrible park for home runs. But it's also Yordan Alvarez. I wish he was a little hotter. I mean, look at this, 346 versus righty. Look how he faces these types of pitches. And it's not like Adrian Hauser is considered a good pitcher. So I think your lefty, your premium lefty versus righties, like play Yordan hesitantly. Play Yordan hesitantly. I mean, we're not going to show any EV here because look at his recent form. You know, so I don't know. I like that play. I think that the thing is you got to consider that park in the day versus the night. He's righty on righty. Okay. He's been a little hotter of late, but I think very recently he's not. So my only play of that game, literally my only game of that play, is consider this as a Yordan Alvarez breaks back out game. And what I was hoping for was, because it's at San Francisco, if they do have his home run props at least in favorable land. And again, we way undervalue home run. Like we have those way too low sometimes. So I am seeing plus 333. I was kind of hoping I was going to be able to tell you that we were in north of 350 land for a Yordan Alvarez home run. And that's going to be like the best you're ever going to get for Yordan of late. Yeah. Yordan's on my watch list. Again, is he like, am I saying play this like I am the other ones? San Diego, we talked about this game. All right, I'm skipping through it. I want to go over one last thing with you folks here. Two last things. Jesus. These early games have some plays, folks. That's what I'm saying. Like, let's just make the best plays from the early games is what I really want you to do today. And then let's reevaluate. Do we call it a day after that? Can we make some money on these early games? I think that there's some things we need to look at this game. And I'm just curious who pops up elite for this game. So we keep talking about Ryan Waldschmidt. He's not on my list. I'm just not interested. Perdomo out of the lineup yesterday, day to day. I didn't even know that. Carroll hits a home run yesterday. I am interested in this Carroll lefty versus righty. Now, Carroll hasn't hit for average to save his ass all year. He's gotten hot of late. I think we should at least look at some Corbin Carroll today. I feel like, again, I'm not tightening up, though. Like, do we love this? It is considered a +5 elite matchup. Is he batting 204 against righties? Yes. Let's look at, all right, here's my final factor. Because I feel like he's, all right, he's batting 179 in August. Come on, Matt, tighten up, tighten up. Could Corbin Carroll hit a home run against this guy who's a terrible pitcher? Absolutely. His most recent form's good, but he's still batting 179. I'm never betting Lars Nootbaar. I'm sorry. So interesting enough, nothing is popping off the charts here. Merrill Kelly's been batting better. I kind of was hoping we'd see something pop off here. I mean, I got to look at it because I'm just confused. Marte is, to me, the definition of a streak hitter. This dude has like hit 2 home runs in 3 games. He's getting good odds. He's going to bat left. Left-handed quality of contact versus right hand. Okay, we're going to pass. I think if he was righty, we're going to pass on this as a lefty versus righty. All right, so we're going to pass. I mean, look, I'm trying to tighten up. I thought there would be more I like this game. This could just be an all-around pass. My boy Gabriel, man, he shit the bed yesterday. It's righty-righty. It's still a shitty pitcher. He doesn't hit a slider against him well. I mean, I think I'm just going to pass. There's other games to be focused on. So we're going to now do the final game here. Oh, God, I hate how... For my dev, if you watch this, please, like, this lineup updating is just too often. Sheesh. It's oof. Too often. San Diego, Milwaukee. Is anyone considered elite? I think the problem's going to be is from a total year of work. I don't necessarily know if anything's going to scream out here. I'm not interested in any Freddie Fermin prop. Is anything considered favorable? Like, yeah. So the problem with this game is it goes back to like the other day. I picked out Jackson Merrill. And he's not going to show well because as a body of work, pre-All-Star break, he sucked. Okay, so when you look at his overall thing, like, we still think he sucks. Post All-Star break in August, 359, 1.134 OPS, 4 home runs. I don't know what he's done, right, folks? I don't know if they've got some new good go-go steroid cream here in San Diego, if we're acting like the suntan lotion, like they're putting on suntan lotion, but it's got some fucking something in it. Look at this guy's last 10. I mean, RBIs, home runs, 4 out of 10. HR, 80%. Runs, 90%. Total bases, 80%. There's times where where we're going to tell you, let our software do the work. There's times when I'm going to tell you, let me do the work. Yeah, Jackson Merrill's a play today. Jackson Merrill is a play today. Now, who else is a play? I mean, San Diego money line plus money. Yes. Tatis is righty. I don't know what's going on with Tatis. I don't know what's in the suntan lotion cream that they put in it. 4 home runs out of 10. Like, for the year stats, do I like this park? No, I don't like the park. I think the part about why I'll probably pass on this is he is only batting .207 against Dustin May, and that's against 32 plate appearances. It is righty on righty. So I think that's enough to tell me to pass. But if you want to talk about recent form, I mean, this guy's at 2.5 HRR in literally 6 of the last 8 games, right? Runs 70% of the games. For me, I would not hate you if you bet Tatis runs or any Tatis. Like, Tatis pre All-Star break, San Diego was dog shit. I'm still not going to bet Machado. Fuck no. I don't know whatever is in the suntan cream. Machado even looked great yesterday. Like, this guy looked lost. So I don't know if I love this because, again, it's righty, and Ty France, I don't think this is a great matchup. He bats 143 on Dustin May. So, I mean, there are some things that tell me, like, okay, this isn't now. It's like yesterday, this talked me into betting the Detroit money line. Now I'm not so sure on the Padre money line. Like, this one's just an outlier to me. Like, what do we do? But if you just talk current form, again, the last 2 games, Ty France has looked good. Could Ty France hit a home run today? Absolutely. And he's getting 525. So I'm probably only going to bet Jackson Merrill. We're going to do a final thing to see, like, they've released the Minnesota lineup. That's the only lineup released. That's kind of where our plays are at, folks. So I'm going to go through my official plays of what I want you guys to do. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. No, I'm not forgetting anyone. There's no other San Diegos. I'm literally only going to bet Jackson Merrill. So, guys, my plays of the morning. Let's just run through it again. Tampa Bay run line, the over of 9.5 runs. Yandy Diaz, Caminero, and Chandler Simpson. Our plays, my absolute plays. My likes are San Diego money line. Now I'm a little more questioning it. It is plus money. You know, it's again just a hot team. That's really what I like. There's momentum is a big thing in sports. This team has renewed energy, renewed motivation. This is the first game, I think, for Robbie Ray, and I think that I like Robbie Ray, and I feel like the Brewers are in just a tad bit of a tad, not crazy, just a tad. And let's also, I want to bring up one final part of this, why I think I like this. I think the Brewers, again, face righties better than lefties. Robbie Ray's a lefty, and when I talk about Brewer bats I love, like the one Brewer bat, maybe I should look at this, is Churio. Did he get hurt the other day? Is that also, if so, like, is that even more reason? Churio against Robbie Ray is like my one right bat that I could see maybe doing some damage. And even that, we don't love him. I mean, again, do we think Robbie Ray's a great pitcher? No. Interesting, though. 311, he does square up against him. Is there history? Limited. All right, so look, Curio might be someone to at least look at to see what if you can find a decent plus money, but he's not super hot of late. His launch angle is a little confusing. He has hit 4 home runs in 10. That one I'd say. So my likes, now I gave you my locks, my likes that I think you should also, if you want to play, Soderstrom props, Jordan Alvarez props, Jackson Merrill, and Churio. And then overall, that's also why I'm kind of holding off on this on Brewers, because to me, it's when you got the Turang bats, the Bowers bats, the other lefty that I can't think of, bat Mitchell. I can't spell Contreras. I mean, Williams seems like he's been cold of late. Like, I just don't hear his name popping up. Yeah, he's been cold of late. That's and not a good matchup. Yeah, I'm going to go with I'm going to go with the San Diego money line. I don't think you should bet huge, but if you're going to get plus money. So there it is. There's my plays. There's my likes for the morning games. If I have time, I'm going to be researching the afternoon games. I'm going to be getting some content to my partner. And then I plan to make a quick little post with this. Guys, look, Edgeboard, code EDGE, get in on this. You're going to see us expand. We're going to adapt to what you want to see out there. And what I'm going to try to do is give you my top 5 late game plays. We're posting these now on our TikTok. Look up Edgeboard Analytics on Twitter, on TikTok, Instagram. And for that one, I'm probably not going to do a video, but I'm going to just have a screenshot on Picket. Look under for our Edgeboard logo there. Ish 50 is what you'll see me on anything on that end. So there's my locks and likes of the early games. Best of luck out there. We will meet at